Hey, this is Carlos GGS from Guitar God Secrets. Welcome back. I'm going to talk to you about how to play like David Gilmour today. David Gilmour is by far one of my favorite guitarists. And the funny thing is he's kind of, I guess you'd say he's contrary to a lot of the other guitarists that I would follow later on when I got into my heavy metal phase. But if you look at it, David Gilmour's playing is just fantastic on so many different levels, mostly because of his control and his use of melody. And he never needs to be fast. That's the beautiful thing about David Gilmour that I learned right off the bat was he never needed to be playing a billion different notes. He could always do what really had an impact in just a few. So we're going to talk about his guitar solo from Another Brick in the Wall today. I'm going to give you first part of it just so you can kind of get that feel and see a couple of the key elements that make David Gilmour's playing so fundamental. So this is going to be in the style of a particular guitar solo from a song that had a lasting impact on me, especially talking about how we just don't need no education. My dad came into my bedroom one day and said, "You know, son, you do need an education." And then he walked out, promptly leaving me to return to my Pink Floyd already in play. I appreciate the message, Dad, and I also appreciate that you didn't stop me from listening to the great David Gilmour. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a pull off from the 13 to the 10 on the B string. And then we're going to play the 12th fret on the G. So that's the pattern we're going to do here. And you can add in a little bit of a little quarter note bend on the 12th fret there, but it's going to go like this. Pull off 13, 10, B, 12 on the G, 10 on the B, 12 on the G, 10 on the B, 13, bend up to the 15 or a whole step. And again, you can give it that little 12th fret slight bend, bringing it up close to, maybe not hitting the blue note there on the 13th fret of the G, but then a pause. And that's a double stop here at the 10th fret on the G and the B string. And now it's a part of the song I really love is how he just pauses there, leaves a little space, and then hits that little emphasis. Now this is truly a David Gilmourism, which is a bend and a rebend. Where he bends from the 13th fret up to the 15th and then bending again back up past the 15th. And it's such a beautiful thing because that bend is so well controlled. I can't even get, obviously, to the degree of mastery he has over that, but that's definitely a David Gilmour type phrasing where he bends to a note and then takes it past that note or even comes back down and then back up, but all with the same pick. So his sustain is awesome. And this is, of course, produced by the fact that he played at ridiculously loud volumes, but not as much distortion as you might think. I understand his distortion pedal of choice was the fuzz face or something like that for a while. But if you listen to his playing, it's just incredibly clean, and his guitar solos have that very clean sound to them. So one more time really quickly. If you just practice that bend that I gave you there, the bend up, and not picking it, but returning it back to the unbent note and then bringing it back up again, but this time to a major third, that is going to give you so much more control and power over your bending. If anything else you practice that. One more time with the bend. Whole note bend. Whole note first, then the major third. So we're going from basically course, a whole bunch more of those double stops come up later in that particular solo as well. And emphasizing the Dorian, which is the another famous David Gilmourism that you can incorporate in your playing. And that use of space and emptiness to emphasize when he comes back in with a note from nowhere that just leaves you emotionally hanging in that moment. So there you go, some very particular elements of David Gilmour's playing, how to play like David Gilmour using his, I guess you call them almost trademarkable stylistic effects, the use of space and pausing, his double stops, and his unique use of bending. Now, if you'd like to get more great info like this, go on over to guitargodsecrets.com/free video. That's guitargodsecrets.com/free video, where I show you more great guitar tips like this, more on how to play like the guitar god you want to be. And I'll give you my #1 practice hack for getting better faster than anybody else. Leave their jaws on the floor. As the saying goes, they laughed when I picked up the guitar, but they stopped when they heard me start to play. I'll talk to you again soon. This is Carlos GGS from Guitar God Secrets. Live to play, play to live.
Thank you.